Hello, and welcome back to where we had left off, where the base frame wasn't quite fitting together right. And what had happened was when I drew it out wrong. The one piece that we in question was supposed to go in between the two vertical pieces, not on top of it. So all I had to do was cut 2 inches out of it, and everything was back to the way it should be.
The cut was done. I had to kind of fiddle with things to get them to fit right, but got it in there and fitting right. Now to deconstruct this and then rebuild it over where the welder is, where it should be a little more flat, because right now, if I take this, I don't care for that much wobbling in the floor. And I'm using the floor because here's the quote-unquote welding table. And my dad set this up. And in his infinite wisdom, he used diamond plate. No idea why. It's like the least logical thing you can use, since you would like a nice level spot, and you got diamond plate. So yeah, not using that. Not to mention it's not big enough. So I've just been using the floor over here and praying that it's level enough, which so far has been. So let me assemble everything over here and I'll be back with you. Alright, this is all set up now over on my welding floor. The perfectly level, absolutely no question whether this is going to be perfectly level. It's barely going to be any wobble based on this is exactly how I did the top piece when I welded it together, and I tested that. It barely had any wiggle to it. I expect similar to this. Not ideal, but it'll get the job done. Now, more not ideal, but it'll get the job done is I don't have a lot of clamps or magnets. I'm sure they're around this garage somewhere. I don't know where they are. And frankly, after working a full day, I'm tired and I don't feel like searching forever. So I am going to do this just piece by piece and just constantly checking to make sure, just realign, and it's stuff that I'd end up doing anyway, even if I had clamps, is be constantly checking, make sure I'm doing it. So I'm just going to do it this way, and that's how it is. And let's do some crappy welding and try to get better at it. Not going to happen. So here we go. Usually helps to attach the grounds. those obviously are worthless. Every single one of those are completely worthless. More terrible, not good. These started to get better, but still horrendous. And those, same thing. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take a break, try welding some scrap pieces together. I don't know why. Well, I can't remember what settings I had it on, but they definitely got changed because it was burning through real bad, and now I can't get it to weld right at all. And this has to do with the inexperience, so gotta just learn from this, which is annoying, but that's what you gotta do. Hello, and I'm back after that last shot where I showed you the terrible welds. I did a little bit of practice on a couple pieces of scrap, and then I also worked on those spots on the frame and just tried to fill things out a little better. Still far from perfect, but I got it a lot better than it was. A couple of welds, when I ground them down, weren't even connecting to anything. They were not even there, essentially. So without further ado, let's see what we got. So I guess I can move this light around to give you a good look at the welds. As you can see, far from perfect, especially this one right here. I actually had to kind of build it up because there's a decent gap for that piece there. Then there's these. This one is actually pretty darn good. Well, for my standards, pretty darn good. That one isn't terrible, but not great. If we move around to here, this I'm just going to grind back. I noticed that this was a little bit longer than it needed to be, and I didn't feel like taking this. I had this already set out over here to weld, and I didn't want to go try to trim that off and then end up trimming it too short or something. I'll just grind that back after it's all welded together. And then this weld definitely needs a lot of work. These ones just need to build up a little more. That one's alright. Probably could use a little more building up. And then lastly is this one, which once again, more of the same. Not great, not horrendous. Definitely a lot better than where I last showed you, so there's that. And with that, let's get to more welding. I've noticed is this piece right here wasn't in there quite level, and I don't know why I let it go when I tacked it, but I did. And then I started doing these welds, and I remembered that that's where my support beam's going to be going, is right around here, so it'd be nice to have that where it should be. So I hit it with a hammer until it got to where it needed to be. That broke this weld, which lets me know my weld wasn't very good. It didn't bend it, it popped it right out, so I'm not getting very good penetration. So that's something I got to keep in mind. I got to re-weld there, re-weld here. Looks like I need to hit here better as well. Another interesting thing is when I was pounding, one of these legs actually came off. Weld broke, so I had to re-weld that too. And I think it was this one. I gotta get a better weld in there. So still struggling through, but I'm just gonna keep doing this, keep practicing, and getting better. Not showing right now, but trying to get better. And I have to do all of the welds in here, inside the corners, on the ends, over there I got to do. So a lot to weld, and I'll get to doing that, and hopefully I can start getting a little more penetration with my welds, because that's a big issue. Is like I said, these welds don't need to be perfect, but I would like to at least be getting some penetration in there, and them being welds, not just metal bridging metal. You want to actually, penetrate through and melt the metals together, weld. So hopefully I'll actually start welding now. I just gotta, still, I think I need to mess with some settings. I'm getting a lot of popping. It's definitely not quite right, and we'll see from here. All right.
And harsh transition into driving footage, but unfortunately my GoPro ran out of battery, and lost the rest of the footage. But essentially I just finished welding up that piece of the base frame, and in the next episode we'll start working on the uprights. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in the next episode. Thanks.